What's up, guys? Figure I'd do a quick, not quick, but a little stream on latest game I'm playing, Path of Exile. It is a Diablo 2, well, Diablo-like loot-based RPG game. So it's got a couple interesting systems and a lot more endgame content than Diablo really ever had. Um, it's pretty wide open and free form. I've been playing it for about a month now. I'm only level 60 something, I think. Oh, 77. So, not that high level. Cap's 100. Most people don't get there. Mid 80s seems to be where people die off, so it's getting there. Uh, right now I'm just running some low level areas to burn up some consumable items. It's a pretty interesting game, and the way they kind of did everything is interesting. It's like I said, it's a lot like Diablo, but instead of having kind of the same idea of just running over and over in bounties, this game has a couple actual full-blown systems. It has a whole endgame mapping system that you load up specific items to spawn maps, and you run through the maps, and you keep trying to trade up to the maps above it, and the maps above it, and the maps above it. There's something like 16 tiers of maps, and the only thing that drops outside of the maps are tier 1, and I think maybe tier 2 maps. All the rest of them you have to get from inside the maps themselves. So it's a bit of an end game grinding system, but it's pretty fun. They have the same unique items, magic items, but they actually have a decent set of crafting in POE instead of, the complete lack of crafting in Diablo. Um, Here, you can actually use items to make certain items magic or rare. You have a giant gamble item that you have a chance to upgrade them to unique, and those are the three tiers of items: unique, magic, and rare. But it seems like it has just a lot more depth to it than Diablo ever really did, so it's pretty fun. So I'm enjoying it for now. I mean, there's only so many different ways you can make one of these games. It's pretty standard. With the whole looting based thing. But unlike Diablo, where you kind of were locked into a specific class, this actually gives you kind of multiple choices. It kind of gives you the flexibility to kind of be whatever you want. Skills are not really determined. Active skills that you use, like this spinning attack that I'm using, is not based off of your character that you choose. It's not based off of, a skill point you put into or something. It's actually based off an equipable item. And here they are. So there's the one they use to spin. So everything that you use as an active skill, or even some passive skills, basically any skills, are based off of gems that you socket into your gear, which is interesting. I mean, I'm not sure many other games really do that, and definitely none do it seem to do it as well as this game does. Um, it does have a whole passive a skill point system, but that's mainly for passive skills. Um, so increased life, increased elemental damage, increased HP, etc., 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 and those you get every time you level up. But you're not locked into a set run that you can do. You're definitely favored with a certain class, but you're not locked in. So I'll show you once we get through this area. You can really choose any skills you want as any type of character you are. You're not limited to just one type of character. Um, so when you get skill points, you actually come into this skill web that you can choose from. You have to choose skills that are connected to the skills you already have, so you can see the highlighted path that I have, and they have all sorts of different abilities. The smaller nodes are just a stat, like strength or intelligence, and the other ones are like movement. Like this one's evasion, armor, and maximum life. Some are passive skills, like projectiles do more damage. The less distance they travel, and everyone uses the exact same web. The thing that differs between the classes is the starting points. So this is the starting point for my class, the Marauder. I believe this is the Duelist. This is the Ranger. And I haven't really played many up here. This might be the Monk character. But this one here is the Scion. You start here and you can choose any of the nodes. You can branch out from wherever you start to wherever you really want to be. So it's an interesting concept. It's very flexible. Really lets you be whatever, turn your character into really whatever you want it to be. And there are, of course, builds that seem to work better than others and whatnot, but this really seems to give a lot of flexibility. To at least try stuff. Like I said, it might not work, but you can try a lot of stuff. And it doesn't really have a shortage of items. Just like D2, it has items with random affixes, and it has, levels of affixes and all that stuff, and the random rolls. But unlike D2, rather than just getting a new item, if your rolls aren't good, you can actually kind of craft that item up to something else and change the way that it functions. You can actually change implicit modifiers and explicit modifiers for items and try and randomly roll them better. So it's like I said, it's got a lot of customization and a lot of flexibility. That seems to be what they were going for. They seem to have done a really good job with it. I'm enjoying it. Like I said, about a month in, and it's fun. The game also has, the same Diablo 2 stash and act system. Um, One thing that it seems to have over D2 is a really good currency system. It uses all sorts of different items as currency, and these are all kind of the basic currency items, starting from identification scrolls to town portal scrolls to blacksmith wit zones, armor scraps, glass blowers, ball barrels, gem cutters, prisms, cartographer's chisels, orb of transmutations, orb of alterations, orb of augmentation, orb of alchemy, chaos orbs, orbs of chance, blessed orbs. These are divine orbs. No, these are regal orbs. These are divine orbs. Um, Jeweler's orbs, orbs of fusing, chromatic orbs, orbs of scouring, orbs of regret, and val orbs, as well as silver coins and the different sextants. There's also regal orbs and mirrors of Calandria, or however you want to say that. Basically, these are insane. These are several hundred of these, and these are about 75 chaos orbs, and chaos orbs kind of the basic currency. Everything else is like 2 alks equal 1 chaos orb, and there's a whole rolling system to them. But the currency isn't just currency. It's not like Stone Rings of Jordan. You can actually use all these currencies, and they all do something different. One of the base currencies being the Identify Scroll. You use that to identify a item right here. So I have a ruby ring. I actually have to use currency to identify it and see what I get out of it. So it's interesting that it uses all those. The chance orbs, they're gamble. They upgrade a random item to a random upgrade an item to a random quality, magic, rare, or unique. Just like refiring off that random gauge for them. Orbs of regrets, which I surprisingly don't have any, are used to actually reallocate a skill point. So if you choose a skill you don't like, you have to spend a bit of currency to redo that. You have to spend currency to get that back. Orbs of scouring turn an item back to a normal item. Chromatic orbs, jeweler's orbs, and fusing orbs are all used in the sockets on a particular item. So I'll just pop a jeweler's orb on here, and you see it change the sockets I have available on that particular item. And sometimes you gotta spend a lot of them just to get the one that you want. Like in this case of sockets, an item can have up to 6 sockets. That means it can have 6 different skills. Oof, I made a mistake. I'm not having good luck. And some of the skills can be linked. So this is a 4 socket with 2 links. So once you have linked skills, like over here, I have my Cyclone skill here, but I have a support gem that makes that skill more powerful. In this case, it gives it more rare items drop. This one gives it added fire damage, and this one gives it a buff every time it's cast. So you build off one skill. You could also put in 2 active skills that share the same support gems that are in there. So it's a lot of flexibility in what you can do and what sockets you can have and whatnot. It has the same block dodge thing, but it also has a energy shield mechanic, which is kind of cool. It's a health buffer. So over here I have 200 shield, which is that little blue. If you have more shield, it kind of starts taking over more and more of your health globe. And I have almost 4,000 life. So it's like I said, it's a lot like Diablo, but it's fun. They have 3. It seems to be like about 3-month seasons. This one that we're in right now is actually the League Stone season. So you actually get these different League Stones, and they're things that give you the modifiers of a previous league. So this one here, it's a Breach League Stone. If we go in and we apply this, the next map that we join is going to have a breach in it, and a breach is something that maps on a previous league used to have, and they all do different things. Let's see what else we have. We have a 49, a 54. Do you have anything in the 49, 50 range? Yeah, we'll put on this. So we'll look for a 49 level map. These are all so under my level, I'm just trying to really burn them up. Act 2? Oh, 46. Yeah, 46, that works. These are significantly under my level, so I am just trying to burn up those league stones. Each league stone only has a certain amount of charges. I just have too many of them, and I can't bring myself to throw them out, especially some of these are still slightly profitable, I think. Like I said, I've only been playing the game a little bit. I'm not the expert, but if you've played many of these games, they're all pretty similar. It's all how can you get the most out of it with the least amount of time put into it. You know, no one wants to be second place, so. Something's there. Oh, huh. That's a thing for a breach, actually. If I go ahead and open this breach, I bet you there'll be a clasped hand there. So it also has a bunch of pretty nice quality of life achievements. The fact that these are all colored, and some are different sizes, and some loot's even hidden right now, is all due to loot filters. You can actually create different loot filters and share different loot filters, or download somebody else's loot filters that all change some of this stuff. So the whites are all the regular, the blues are the magic, and the oranges are the rares, and the grays, like these things, are currency basically. So it's pretty interesting. It's got a lot of, like I said, quality of life, a lot of improvements that are pretty big helps to get you through some of this stuff. It's not like the normal D2, and there are a lot more items than there is in D2 in terms of uniques, it seems. At least a lot more variety in the type of characters you can play with that whole skill web, and the fact that the gems are your skills. You don't have to use, a specific character. You can make a barbarian summoner if you want. Might have to go out of your way to get a lot of the skills. You may not be able to get some of the skills that some of the summoners have, but nothing's stopping you from actually doing it, like in a Diablo or like many of those other games. So it's a lot of fun. Nothing here is valuable. So, Warband, Termite Spirit Breach. Yeah, we did all those. And even like that, you hold down Control and you can create a new instance of an area. You don't have to wait for it to despawn or leave town or anything like that. You can force the creation of a new instance. I mean, the game knows what it is. It doesn't try to, um, you know, pretend that you're not going to end up running the same thing again and again to get the items that you want. The loot table is not as random as Diablo, so you get the opportunity to really get all sorts of different stuff, um, which is a lot of fun. There are loot restrictions on certain items that can only be dropped in certain areas. It's like I said, it's a lot of fun that you can do what you can do in this game. It's got a lot of variety, a lot of freedom. I just wish it didn't have such a dang learning curve, which it really does if you kind of want to learn all the systems. I'm still learning, and I've been playing for probably about a month, but I still know nothing compared to some of the people who've been playing a lot longer than me. And you know, like with Diablo, with the tab for the loot filter, you know, Z, you just turn it back on, and it'll show you everything that dropped, and it's all colored, and you can grab what you want. There's a 5 socket. That's nice. There's also vendor recipes in here that can do different items. There's a whole prophecy system that gives you you can trade pieces of currency for a chance to get different listings of what will happen. So one is, you know, that twinned where we just had, where you know certain random monsters are duplicated. Once you get it on the map and use it once, it goes away. It costs 1 silver coin to get it. You just pay a silver coin, you get a random prophecy. Some are, you know, you'll kill a powerful monster and get a rare item. It's overall rather fun. And the variety. It's really just all about the variety. It's not like you're running, you know, God, Mephisto or Diablo a dozen times. You're doing bounties or trying to do a greater rift, or it's just a linear progression. The fact that they kind of staggered the progression with the map system in this game, which is the big end game time sync system, it really adds a lot more to it than you would really think. It really lets you have the variety that Diablo's kind of lacking. Because really, I loved Diablo. I loved Diablo 1, 2, 3. I loved the auction house. I loved everything else, but it was a little limiting, you know, in what you could actually do. You'd end up running the same half a dozen things, and that would be it. You wouldn't really have much choice in what else you could do. It was just, okay, this is the only thing that has any good loot. Here, it actually has the tiered systems that kind of build off one another that you have to take part in if you really want to have, you know, end game content. And they're actually working on a pretty big update for this probably in the next little bit. Right now, it is 4 acts, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 quests per act in Act 2. I think Act 1 has like 9 or 10. Act 4 has 1, 2, 3, 6. So it's a decent bit of quests. But then there's master quests, there's these prophecies, there's the League Stones, there's crafting, there is like breach stones. There's so many different things that you can collect to get access to other things, um, that it really has a lot more to it than you'd think. I'll identify this and see what we get. Not weld. Hey, let's just find that breach. And these are all low-level monsters, so they're really not worth anything for me. Um, but some of the items that they drop are still valuable. Those splinters is really what I'm trying to get here. They are quite the valuable item. You get a bunch of those, you can make another item that actually opens up a portal to the boss of the, this blue area, basically. But you gotta get 100 of them. And it looks like we're getting like maybe 3 to 6 with this particular League Stone, and this League Stone only has 5 charges, so uh, we're not going to have a huge amount of luck, probably. But it's all cumulative, just like all of these loot games. You put enough time into it, it'll do pretty good for you. And this might not be the best use of my time, but I don't care. I'm having fun. I haven't played in any of these other leagues. They're all gone now. The only chance I'm going to get to experience them is that. This is actually a side area, so it has modifiers inside of the area that makes it significantly stronger, but it drops special skill gems that are corrupted or higher quality, or help you out in the, not help you out, but give you better maps. So, and even the monsters inside of there have these modifiers, so these have 15% more life, and they have 10% increased quantity of items found inside this area. So, pretty powerful mods if you were of the level that these monsters were. I'm not, so I just came in here for this, and that's a particular item that helps with, not helps with, but gives you a chance to fight a specific boss in a specific area that drops some good loot. I think she's still a little high for me, so I'm waiting on that. Hey, just saw chat. About a month and a half. That's about it. Have played a lot of other ARPGs though. I mean, from Diablo 1 to pretty much anything else that's out there. Let's see how many charges we have left on these stupid League Stones. Yeah, we'll do one more of these low-level maps just to get rid of the one League Stone. After this one, we'll jump into the Labyrinth. That's one of their other interesting things. It's one of the most unique things, I'd say, I've seen done in a game. At least in a loot-based ARPG, it's a heavily randomized dungeon with a daily changing layout, pretty high rewards, different challenges, and based off of how you play through it. It handles different inputs differently. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean. It basically changes the ball space and how you end up playing through. So it's a pretty interesting area to run through. Just trying to clean out as much room as I can out of here. One thing about the labyrinth is once you go in, you can't really come out. Let you have a stash every couple areas that you can just kind of dump stuff in. But not much else than that, so we'll go play with that. Oh, something crit heard. Sweet, and I lost my screen. I have no idea if it's still recording. Alright, well if you can see me, we're going to have to cancel that stream, because that's fantastic. I'll fire up another one and we'll try that labyrinth again, but I'm going to have to restart the PC.